Hi, this is Nick with the Jenkins Group, powered by eXp Realty, and today I want to talk a little bit about appraisals and what you need to know about the appraisal process and how it might affect you as a buyer or a seller. An appraisal is an opinion of value where an expert appraiser is going to come to your house and estimate how much the house is worth. It's usually on behalf of a bank, and it can have a huge impact on the buying or selling process, so it's important to understand how it can affect you as a buyer or seller. The first thing I want to explain is how they conduct an appraisal on a residential property. Typically, the appraiser is going to be finding comparable sales similar to the property that you're purchasing or selling and trying to come to a value based on what those properties sold with, usually within the last 3 to 6 months, and as close by to the subject property as possible as well. They're also going to be paying attention to other characteristics of the house, like the size and the type of the home, to find the most comparable properties possible. Once they've found suitable properties to compare with your property, they'll take note of any differences that could affect the value of the home, like if there's an extra garage or if there's different condition between the two homes. And they'll use this full analysis to come to a value for the home that you're purchasing or selling. So when does the appraisal start to have an impact on the purchase or sale of your home? It's when there's a difference between the appraised value of the home, which is what the appraiser says it's worth, and the actual purchase price of the home. And how this affects you is going to be different depending on whether you're the seller or the buyer. We usually don't want to see a gap between the appraised value and the purchase price. It usually means bad news for our transaction because somebody usually has to make up the difference, whether that means the seller is going to reduce the purchase price in order to meet the new appraised value, or the buyer is going to increase their down payment in order to meet the new appraised value. Usually it's some combination of the two of those things working together, so it's not an ideal outcome for either party in most cases. The good news is this only happens about 7 to 10% of the time. That being said, sometimes if you're working with an experienced agent, it can be to your benefit as a buyer for the appraisal to come back low because you actually can get a reduced purchase price if you negotiate it correctly. So it's very important that you're working with an experienced agent who knows how to handle this situation. Finally, as a seller, if there's a lot of interest in your property, sometimes you can negotiate for buyers to have a contingency in place where if the appraisal does come back low, you'll be protected anyways, and they'll automatically bring extra money as a down payment. And again, as a buyer, you can use this kind of a clause to make your offer stronger to potential sellers. This hasn't been as common recently because the market just hasn't been as hot as it was last year, but if we do get into a very competitive market, I would expect this to come back and be very popular once again. So ultimately, it always comes down to the specifics of your situation, the specifics of the property that you're purchasing or selling, and we can do a lot to prepare you and put you in a good position for the appraisal just by taking a look at your specific situation. So please feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions or you want to talk through exactly what this would look like. Thank you all for watching once again. My contact information will be found below, and I hope everyone has a great rest of your day.